audio that OpenAI real-time voices can generate is truly mind-bending. They have emotion and depth and can, as it turns out, even stay in character. You absolutely have to play with this to believe it. But the hard thing is it can be a little challenging to get started with the browser-based app. It gets more complicated when you start to think about how to add the proper protections to bring your app to production, and no sweat, we got you. If you haven't seen it yet, we made an open source OpenAI relay hosted on Cloudflare workers. It's free, and we left you a couple of to-dos in the instructions here. You'll see it's talking about authentication, talking about rate limiting, maybe matching the path. So what I did was I went ahead and I built an app using this template, and I completed those to-dos. So they're now to done. So now we have a working example of an app for you to explore. Let's check it out. I'll show you how it works, and then I'll show you how I built it. So that's right here. I call it Say It Again. The way that it works is I'll just show you. So I'm gonna click this parrot here. It's using my mic. It records my voice, and it uses the OpenAI real-time API to repeat back what I said, but it does it in different characters. So for this one, you'll see that I chose the parrot. So when I stop clicking, it's going to come back.
Squawk! Using mic, records voice. Uses OpenAI real-time API. Squawk! Repeat back different characters. Squawk! Stop clicking.
Right, so pretty cool. That's pretty cool that it could come out and do that. And there's some different characters in here that we'll take a look at as we go. And not only does it repeat back what I said, but I kind of wanted to put it in character just to kind of show off what that is, because it's a pretty wide breadth of things that it can do. So this app is built using the relay that we discussed before. And I have some JavaScript locally in the browser that connects over a WebSocket. So one of the main problems of exposing a WebSocket without authentication is that anyone can connect to it. So like the to-do said, we added some authentication to that flow. So first, let me just show you. I'm going to open up my inspector here, and I'm going to go to my application. That's probably really small because it's really small on my screen. Application. I'm going to go to my cookies for Say It Again, and I am going to just wipe that away. I'm going to refresh over here, and you'll see now I am unauthenticated. So I need to log in to continue. So I'm going to click that. Don't tell anyone, but the username is Cloud and the password is Flare. It's our little secret since we've been hanging out for a while yet. When I come in here, if I click login, you'll see that the JWT payload comes back and I'm ready to go. Now, if you haven't seen JWT before, it stands for JSON Web Token. It's often pronounced JWT. Because reasons. But if you want to, this JWT.io is a great place to be. So if I come here, I can copy this value that I got here, and you'll see that I can actually decode the whole thing there. You'll see that I got Cloud and the user and when the thing expires. But you'll see that it's an invalid signature because I signed it, and it's invalid because it's not coming back signed. So I can see what they're trying to do with the payload, but it's not signed. All right, so let's take a look at the implementation. So what I've done is I've installed the Hono web framework. Now, I'm a huge fan. It gives us routes, and it also has this awesome middleware implementations for what we need, this JWT. So I've collapsed the relay portions, but those are there totally unchanged from the template. So here's how I'm defining the JWT middleware. Now, most web frameworks allow you for some sort of middleware. It's often described as the onion approach. I'll show you. I love the docs here for Hono. It's called the onion approach because when a request comes in, it goes through the first layer of the onion and any other layers of the onions that are there. Then there's the handler that runs, and then there's these other middleware things that go in the same order on the way back. So you can add layers of the onion by using middleware in Hono, and that is exactly what we are going to do. So we're going to add this JWT middleware. Very nice. You'll see that I'm passing the secret. That's what I'm signing the things with. That's how we know that it's safe. And what I'm saying is anything, this app.use says anything under /auth, anything I want to make sure that it is verified to have a JWT payload. And by default, I named this cookie to be JWT payload. So normally you kind of pass that around in the headers, but I'm passing this around in the cookie, which is totally fine. So if we go over here in my static pages, I'm using these static assets, and we look in login, you can see that I'm doing a post to /authenticate. And so let's take a look at what that looks like here. So /authenticate here is going to come through. Now I've hard coded what comes back, right? So we're going to get the body. I'm going to get back the username and the password, and it's Cloudflare. I'm going to set up some expiry stuff. Then I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to build the payload. This is what we saw in the JWT.io. I'm going to get the username. I've got the user and expires. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push across my secret. I'm going to sign that. I'm going to set a cookie. Again, I have a hard time finding the words to express how much I love Hono.
My heart aches to find the perfect words to encapsulate the boundless love I feel for you. Every beat of my heart whispers your name, longing to express this passion.
Isn't that wild, the level of detail that I did? So I did a romance novel, so I'll show you how I built that there. But all of this stuff built with the Hono tool, the JWT, all that cookie, all that middleware, amazing. All right, so now my auth routes are working. I know that they're working. I can actually go now, I can go to this. I built a site here called auth check, not checkle, auth the check. And you can see here that how I'm logged in. It's a nice way for you to test if you got things working or not. But what I did was I protected the auth route that gives that WebSocket out, right? So auth/WS is going to give out the WebSocket. I'm going to get the payload. Just to write it out. I don't actually need to get it. I just won't work, right? It'll just go ahead and catch it, and I'll get told that I need to log in if you try to use this at all without hitting it. And then I'm going to go get the WebSocket, create the real time. This is all from the other one, but now it's protected. So again, this way, in order to gain access to the WebSocket, which is connected to the relay, you need to have JWT in your cookies. And with a protected endpoint, it's time to start using it. So the real-time API allows you to send up messages over the WebSocket and get messages back. So you do this input audio buffer append. There's lots of instructions here what that looks like. It's a base 64 encoded string. So in my client-side app, so in my hosted client-side app here, what I do is I hook up the WebSocket to the URL hostname, and then I hit /auth/WS, which we saw, right? So it'll only give me that. So now I have this WebSocket that's listening here, and if we come down here, we take a look at the Parrot. When I click the Parrot, there's a couple of things that have been broken out from the beta version of the OpenAI real-time client. One of them is called WavTools, and it is super handy for sending audio up in chunks. So see this wave recorder here? It has this record, and it passes this data, and I'm going to send that up, again, using that input audio buffer. So I'm sending that up, pushing that there, and then when it's all done, I do a commit, right? So when I click the Parrot, because we're done, we're going to do a commit, and we're going to send that all the way up. And then on the other side of that, we're going to listen. We're going to use our on message, right? So when the messages come back, we're going to get a delta, and we're going to get the bytes, and we're going to use the wave stream player to append those bytes as it goes. And that's why it starts being able to talk. Really powerful. A lot of the magic is right here in this WavTools library. And so the other thing that I keep doing each time that I go is as I update that session, right? So I do this session update, and I'm passing these instructions. I'm using the voice verse. I find that verse is the best actor. Instructions is your task is to repeat back what the user said, but in your own tone. You are prompt, and so we'll pass that in here. And it says only restate what the user said and nothing else, right? Typical LLM prompt there. So in the index.html, you'll see that I have different characters here. And here's one. Here, let's do this YouTuber. You are a popular teenage YouTuber. You always choose the most cutting edge parlance like Riz, Skibbity, Ohio, drip, fit, selling, cooking. You didn't think I knew those words, did you? Etc. You must accentuate words to get the point across. You laugh too much. And at the end of your saying, you suggest an over-the-top clickbait YouTube title for what you just said. So let's take a look and see what that one feels like. So if I go here and I come back to my Parrot here. So let's come in here and we'll take a look at what the YouTuber is saying here. And I'll click that YouTuber. And with that, I hope that you see that you too can build fun real-time apps complete with authentication.
Yo, and with that, I hope you see that you too can totally build fun, real-time apps complete with authentication. Yo, title this vid, Build a Real-Time App with Auth in 10 Minutes, no cap.
No cap. What characters do you want to add to this list? And more importantly, what kind of real-time voices do you want to build now that you have access to a completely protected WebSocket? I'm going to keep exploring this and thinking I might build something like a real-time assistant that has access to tools. So all that to say, make sure that you like and subscribe to the Cloudflare dev channel to see more.
Make sure that you like and subscribe to the Cloudflare dev channel, dude.
I did. All right. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you real soon.